Oh, hello. Welcome to the 2013 Hundie Challenge. Today we're going to be discussing The Gingerbread Man by Don Corleone. Dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo, dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo. So, let's talk about Ireland for a minute. Right now I'm reading Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by Joyce. The only other Joyce book I've read this year is Finnegan's Wake, which I can't really count as a book, really. It was just kind of a nonsense poem for 600 pages. But dealing with Ireland is trickier, I think, for the American reader than dealing with, English books. I don't know if that's necessarily universally true. Maybe we just get a little more osmosis over the pond. Like I know what lorry is a truck. I know stuff like that. Ireland, the slang and the I don't want to say patois, but the dialect and the word choice is a little peculiar to my, I want to say ears as a reader, but eyes. It's a little off. It's a little off-putting. It's hard to always know what they're talking about. And I get the impression, though I don't want to make any kind of broad statements based on the 2 or 3 books I've read by Irish authors this year. I get the impression that Irish authors are more experimental in their prose. So they're less prone to try and help you understand what they're saying than to just kind of throw the spaghetti against the wall and hope that you pick up whatever you want. The Gingerbread... that was the joke title I came up with, but I can't call it the right name because it's off-putting. The Ginger Man, which I believe means that he had brown hair. We have a term today for gingers, which is like red hair, pale face, and freckles. I don't think that's what ginger means in Ireland, but I don't know. Somebody correct me in the comments. Let me know in the comments what the fuck a ginger man is. Anyway, this guy, the main character, the hell was his name? Sebastian. So Sebastian is a lout of kind of the Augie March variety, without any of the rare odd scruples that Augie March showed. Sebastian is an absolute he's a drunk. It takes a little while in the book for you to catch up with that, because he spends a lot of time talking about how he doesn't drink, but as time goes by, you realize that he's constantly in bars protesting how much he doesn't drink. He's a womanizer. He's married with a child, but I think there's not less than 6 or 7 other women that he sleeps with in this book. And he's a lunatic. He's constantly putting his fist through walls and, smashing lamps. And, Edgar Allan Poe talked about the imp of the perverse, was one of his poems or short stories or something. And I always took that to mean, that's one of my favorite metaphors, sometimes I really feel like there's a little devil on my shoulder telling me to do something really perverse, like yell out, fuck you, in a church, or, do something really horrible. Sebastian seems to constantly listen to his imp of the perverse, no matter what it tells him to do. He whips out his dick on the subway and drives home that way. He's just constantly making a mess and making chaos and making bedlam all over Ireland. Oh, he's like a serial check bouncer. He's the kind of guy that's always bumming off of other people, and is always like, yeah, I'll pay you back. It's as good as gold in the bank. And it seems like the things that he says are just like the sort of charming, like turning on the charm of the old sod. They're always talking about the old sod, and you really get the impression that he's really like always cranking up his Irish charm to get people to give him money, which he then blows and then sees who he can get more money from. So like he has his friend, I guess he's actually from America, now that I think about it, living in Ireland, which is a little bit of a, flip-flop. But his friend O'Keefe, Kenneth O'Keefe, they're both very poor in the beginning, and he's always getting O'Keefe to give him money, and he's like, oh, it's as good as it is in the bank. It's better than in the bank because the bank might burn down or something, but with me, it'll always be there. And his friend O'Keefe is a virgin. I get they're in like their late 20s or 30s. I don't know if it necessarily said what O'Keefe's name is, but Sebastian is definitely 27. That's explicitly stated. And O'Keefe is a virgin, and Sebastian is a serial womanizer who like can't look at a woman without falling into bed with her. And they're just constantly sending these letters back and forth because O'Keefe eventually goes traveling about, A, where's my money? And B, I can't get any ass. Tell me how to get ass. And Sebastian will always reply like, oh, my good man, I couldn't possibly send you money right now, but next time, I guarantee you. And it'll be like, oh, don't. He'll always be constantly telling him to like do the opposite of what he's doing. He'll be like, oh, leave Ireland, that's where you'll find women. And then when he's abroad and in France or whatever, he'll be like, oh, come back from France, back to Ireland, all the women in Ireland. He's just, like I said, he's just this total, if I could make a guess, I would say he always listens to his worse angels of his nature. He's just constantly doing wrong. As a picaresque, it's kind of amusing. But like I was talking about earlier, it's one of these very experimental novels. And it's kind of half in third person, half in first person, which I gather to mean he's like it's in third person, but we can hear his thoughts, but the author makes no distinction between thought and narration. So it'll be like, he stepped into the room. I hate you. And you'll be like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, it's not that off-putting once you've read Finnegan's Wake, say, but it's a really peculiar way to read a book. Would I recommend it? I don't know that I would. It's like I said, it's kind of hard to read. Not like a slog, but kind of a head scratcher. If there was a movie, maybe I should look into that. Maybe there is a movie. I would recommend you go see the movie because he's kind of a crazy character. But I didn't much care for the prose style. So thanks for tuning in. Next time, I think, as I mentioned, we'll be talking about A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce.